Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man has just recently ended, and it was awesome. Definitely the best Spider-Man show to come out within the last decade, which is insane to say. It's been greenlit for a season 2 and 3, and I believe season 2 is in production right now, so with the series extra fresh in my mind, I wanted to go over some thoughts, ideas, and theories about season 2. A few-ish days ago, they revealed that Gwen Stacy was going to be in Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, and initially I was excited. I thought this was going to be like a cool little thing to inject into the show, like it's Gwen Stacy, like that's pretty cool. But then I found out she was going to become Ghost Spider, and I immediately lost all interest. This isn't because Spider-Gwen is a bad character. I haven't actually read her books though. Maybe she is. She probably isn't. My only exposure is all of the other stuff that she's been in, and that's kind of my problem. Is she's been involved in so much Spider-Man media recently, I can't help but get a little put off anytime she's like involved in a project. In general, I kind of don't love Spider-Verse stuff. I usually prefer when they just keep it to like one Spider guy by themselves, whether that be like Spider-Gwen even, or like Miles, or just Peter, or I'd take like a Ben Reilly series, like that'd be cool. I haven't read much of his comics, but like I'm sure that'd be fun. Obviously, this doesn't mean every Spider-Verse type project is inherently bad, and I have more than enough faith in the people making this show that like I'm sure Ghost Spider isn't gonna like make me hate the show. I'm sure that'll be fine. I just know that I haven't necessarily liked other Spider-Man shows with a structure like this. Like the 2017 one or whatever, with Miles and Gwen and the other Spider-Girl, Aranya, I don't remember her name. Either way, I didn't like that show. They're including Web. they're including Spider-Gwen, so I'm getting flashbacks, and I kind of don't like those flashbacks. I'm not gonna lie, but my biggest issue isn't even really the fact that there's another Spider showing up. I love seeing Peter and Miles team up. Peter and any other Spider person is usually pretty fun. I think I liked in Devil's Reign, like I liked it when Peter and Ben Reilly in Devil's Reign were like fucking around with each other, like that was cool. But I think it's just the fact that it's Spider-Gwen. In a show where we have Wave, Nico Minoru, Finesse, characters that casual Marvel cartoon Spider-Man fans most likely have no idea even exist aside from maybe Nico herself, they went with Spider-Gwen rather than Silk. And this isn't even because I'm the biggest Silk fan. I'm kind of not. I haven't read any of her books. I just think that it would be more fun to have Silk in a thing because we haven't seen her before except in Spider-Man 3, I guess, as opposed to Spider-Gwen, who's kind of been getting shoved down our throats for the past, like, 5 years, and I don't know if they're even, like, I don't think Silk has appeared in Spider-Man media at all, and Spider-Gwen has, like, fucking the Spider-Verse movies, and she's in a bunch of other animated stuff. So I'm just less interested because it's Ghost Spider instead of fucking like anybody else. Like anybody else would have been cool with me, I think. Like I mean, obviously it could be cool still. Like I said, I still have faith in the writers. Like I'm sure they'll make me like it, even though I currently am not a huge fan. Maybe we could flip the dynamic on its head, make it more antagonistic. I think I saw it on a Reddit post, someone suggesting that maybe Gwen could be working with Osborn since Peter can't trust him and he like left the company and stuff. I'm not entirely sure that's how things would go down, but I wouldn't mind it. Having Peter and Gwen start off as rivals or enemies or anything antagonistic actually sounds like a fun change, since normally any Spider-Person Peter comes in contact with, he's friendly toward. That could still be the same here. Maybe Peter does want to be her friend since they have the same powers and all that, but if she pushes back, if there's friction, that feels infinitely more interesting to me. Still don't love that it's Ghost Spider, or that they're adding in another Spider-Person so soon after Peter is barely getting his identity as Spider-Man figured out. Like, we haven't even heard with great power comes great responsibility, and it's kind of obvious that Peter, like, wants those words, and he's, like, searching for them. Like, he's kind of lost. Like, he kind of knows that Spider-Man is, like what he wants to be, but he hasn't, like, been able to put it into words, you know? So he hasn't like fully figured it out, and we're like already throwing in another spider. Like, it fucks with me, but like I don't think it's that bad. Like I said, I think it could be cool. I think it could be very cool. I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm just saying stuff. Jeff Trammell seems to make a pretty big point that he wouldn't put in a plot thread if he wasn't willing to go all the way with it, or something along those lines, which means that pretty much every single scene at the end of like the last episode is going to have some sort of conclusion within these next 3 seasons, if not just the second season, especially since he doesn't mind playing the long game with them. So like, this makes me believe that not everything we saw will get an actual conclusion in this upcoming season, and may be saved for the next. I can't speculate on any new developments in season 2 since I don't have the script. Obviously, unless I make it, I could make it. I'm down to make it. Who wants to see me write a season 2? Anyways, I can talk about the end of season plot threads that I want to be tackled in season 2 specifically. So before I talk about those, I'll talk about the ones that I want saved for season 3, or like the later half of season 2. A lot of people, from what I've seen, seem pretty excited for the symbiote to be given to Peter next season, but I actually think I'd prefer if that was left until season 3. That might be a bit tricky, since I would probably also want Norman's shift from petty rich guy that wants to do good into literal supervillain to also be in season 3, but I think they could easily make it work. Okay, not easily. I just said it'd be tricky. Obviously, it's not going to be easy, but like they could make it work. It might be even more fun because, like, since the symbiote could end up heightening Peter's rage toward Norman going down such a dark road, we've already seen that this show isn't against showing Peter attempting to off villains, so it'd be kind of cool to see it happen with the symbiote. That, and I'm not sure a black suit Spider-Man versus Green Goblin fight has ever happened before, and I think it would kind of be fucking sick. Like, you can't tell me that like the imagery, at least like the imagery of black suit Spider-Man beating the shit out of Green Goblin isn't kind of fucking cool. Like, I just think that would be sick. So if they left Green Goblin and symbiote stuff for like season 3, or like maybe he gets the symbiote in the second half of season 2, and then like it goes on until season 3, and then they fight. Like, that'd be cool. That'd be sick. I'd be so hyped for that. I mean, obviously that's like weird, because the immediate fallout of the symbiote is almost always like Venom popping up right after, or at least that's like the modern interpretation. I don't know if that's what happened in the comics. I haven't actually read the original Venom storyline, but considering the fact that like the symbiote being like evil or whatever is more of a modern change interpretation thing, like I think like it wouldn't be possible for Venom showing up like way later on to like you could do that. Like I think you could do that. I don't know. I think you could save it and it wouldn't be that weird and it'd be cool. And I just want to see Black Suit Spider-Man fight Green Goblin. I don't know. I just think it'd be really cool, man. Fuck. Even if you just keep the Black Suit stuff contained to like season 2 and like he gets rid of it, I definitely for sure want Osborn's turn to be a season 3 thing. We can see that he's been experimenting with like a bunch of like goblin tech, he's making it. We see that. We saw the glider, we saw his business meeting. Like obviously he's making the goblin stuff, but I feel like his turn can only happen in season 2, and I would prefer like he gets like the switch flip during like the last half, and then like the beginning half of season 3 is like he's like, yeah, I want to be a weird costume villain. I want to fight guys. I want to beat up Spider-Man because Peter pissed me off or whatever. Like that'd be cool. I just think it'd be much more fun to leave the heel turn for season 3 and like give more build up. I like build up. I like a lot of build up for goblin stuff. He's like Joker. Like I don't want Joker in fucking season 2 of any Batman show. I don't want Joker the Batman 2. Why would I want Green Goblin in Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man season 2? That name is so long. Anyways, I don't think he has the idea to like use the goblin suit himself yet. But if we use Doc Ock's turn, not his turn, he's evil already, we know this. If we use his like, I'm gonna beat the shit out of Norman, if we use that in season 2, and then he comes in rocking his 4 arms. How many arms does he have? He has 4 arms. If he comes in rocking his 4 arms and he breaks down Norman's door, and he grabs him by the throat and he's like, I'm better than you, rah! Like, would that not be a cooler like kick in the ass for Norman to be like, yeah, I want a suit of my own. I want to beat this guy up because he made me mad. And maybe like Peter, I don't know, he like doesn't come to rescue Norman or something, and so he gets mad. I don't know why he would be pissed off at Peter, but like we could do that. We could figure that out. That's fine. Or maybe Gwen does work for Osborn and then she quits like Peter did, and then he gets pissed off that all these superheroes that he like has join up with him like just take his money and his tech and then leave like ungrateful buttheads, and then he's like, I'm gonna beat them up because I'm mad. I don't know, it could literally be anything, but that's what makes it fun. Like, this show is so different than like any other Spider-Man thing that's come out recently that like literally anything could happen. I watched all the episodes and like I knew Lonnie was gonna turn into Tombstone, whatever, but like everything else I was like, we're in uncharted territory. They don't necessarily need to take this in any specific direction. They can go anywhere they want, and that's cool. Now, here's what I want to for sure be touched on and concluded in some way within season 2. Speaking of Lonnie, because we literally just brought him up, I need Lonnie to become Tombstone, and then I need there to be more tension between Peter and Lonnie, just in general. Because what we got in the first season, like, it was cool, a little calm, little calm tension, like, it was fun, but, like, it's not what we need, though. Like, you get what I'm saying? They had a cute little fight scene together, but, like, Peter needs to be harder on Lonnie's criminal lifestyle. He's pretty openly the leader of the 110th gang now, and if he starts to get the usual Tombstone white skin, then I can see him becoming a hell of a lot more antagonistic or feeling ostracized or whatever. There's a few different ways I can see them handling the conflict, but Peter needs to stop being so passive. He had one moment in the first season where he confronted Lonnie and said, dog, you can't be doing this. Lonnie said, it's my business. And then he walked off and Peter was sad. Whatever. That was fine. But now that they're in a room together, now that Peter is more independent, I need him to, like, get on his ass, bro. He needs to get on this guy's ass, bro. Like, technically, Lonnie was, like, the reason that Nico almost got run over. Obviously, it's, like, slightly more complicated than that, but his gang is literally the reason that Nico almost got run over, and he basically got no repercussions for that. Peter didn't even, like, talk bad to him after the fight or anything. And again, there were, like, extenuating circumstances. A lot more happened, and I'm sure he probably would have said something given, like, a more normal atmosphere. But I don't know, I feel like he got let off too easy. Especially for someone like Peter who cares so much about his friends and his friends' well-being and all this other shit. He has a spine. Like, we've been shown that there's only so much that he can take. Like, after Osborn showed off all the crazy stuff he was doing with their research, he was like, I don't know, you're shady, you're weird, that guy was investigating you, I don't know if I can work with you or trust you anymore. So I need him to, like, actively stand up to Lonnie and call him out on his behavior and stuff. And since they're going to be working at Web together, I'm sure that opportunity will arise. I just need it to be, like, a little more overt, I guess. Also, they gotta fight. Obviously, they have to fight. Like, it's right there. It's too good to pass up. They have to fight. Nico being more magical. I don't even really have anything specific for this one. I just think that magic is cool, and it'd be fun to have her, like, start moving stuff with her mind or whatever. Speaking of characters getting their powers, I'm hesitantly interested in seeing Amadeus hulking out, but there hasn't really been any hint of him doing that throughout the show, aside from him just being involved in general. So I wouldn't mind if he just never became Brawn. There was a bunch of other characters on that web board that seem interesting, but I'm not actually familiar enough with any of them to want them getting their usual powers within the confirmed 3 seasons of the show. All except for Max Dillon. Obviously, I think most people are pretty hyped to see this Spider-Man take on a version of Electro, especially since his suit would most likely resemble his usual thing, which we haven't really seen in media all that often, especially recently. Last but not least on the power scene is Pearl, who is another character that I would love to see get powers, if only because I know nothing about Wave, and I'm sure that sentiment is shared across a few different people who watch this show. That, and I can't help but feel a powered confrontation between her and Lonnie, or them and Peter, or any combination would be fun, just as a whole. But also, I don't think all of the characters who have alternate identities will be getting powers. I feel like they're probably just here to add some variety to the show, so to a certain extent, I guess I'm kind of in the middle with a lot of these characters getting their powers. Like, it'd be fun, and I can see some very interesting interactions playing out because of a development of powers or gadgets to create a new persona or something, but it's equally as fun just watching Peter interact with people that are so different from the usual ones in Spider-Man shows. I'm pretty sure I've talked about all that I care about. The only thing left is the big one. Richard Parker. Jeff Trammell said that Peter is very aware that his father is in jail. I'm gonna need that guy to get visited by Peter at least once in the 2nd season. My first immediate thought is that Richard, for some reason, is responsible for Ben's death. I don't think that's what they're going with, and I'm not sure I even really like the idea, but I just had to bring it up. It would be so wild for his first words to be, "You look as lovely as ever," to the woman who, like, had her husband get shot by him or something. That'd be insane. There's only 2 jobs, I think, that Richard has had. A SHIELD agent and a scientist. He definitely didn't make the symbiote in this world. That's an alien. It's very independent of Richard, but I can still see him being a scientist. Maybe it's part of the reason that Peter likes science at all. Maybe it's why he's in prison. I don't know. The only problem I see Peter getting his love of science from his dad being is like, he brings up Ben's death being hard all the time and only mentions his mom's death in passing once. But he doesn't ever say anything about his dad during those times. Like, the only reason I could see for that is if he just didn't care for or didn't like his dad for some reason. So what did bro go to jail for? Was he set up? Is he a big time criminal? Unlike everything else, this is the one thing you can't do much speculation on. There's been like 0 hints about Richard throughout the show, and while that alongside the fact that he's in prison implies to me that he isn't very well liked by May or Peter, I can't say why that is. For the third one, it might be kind of dope if he like escaped prison and then Peter had to recapture him as Spider-Man or something, but that really depends on what the hell he's in prison for. Like, imagine if he made like a bioweapon. Like, what if he made like a bioweapon and he just like, he's responsible for like a bunch of deaths in New York or something. Like, I don't think that's like even remotely a possibility, but like, it's like what, why the fuck is he in jail, bro? Like, for long enough for him to be out of Peter's life, for him to like not bring him up or care or be worried about him in prison. Because if it was like a recent thing, right, he would talk about bro, or you would think at least, like it would come up at some point, especially when he's having that like heart to heart with May. Like, they mention Ben, but like, you know, maybe May would be like, I know it's been hard, your dad's in prison and all. Like, if it was like a recent development and Peter liked his dad, I don't see why he wouldn't have gotten brought up in like any of the tender moments that he has with May. That's gotta be like the most interesting part about this show to me, because we barely have Peter talk to his parents at all, because they're not really needed. Like, they're not really important characters ever, and you don't care about them ever. But now that one's alive and Peter's not talking to him for some reason, like, fucking tell me why. Let me know why. He's voiced by Josh Keaton. I like Josh. I just blew out my mic. I got too hyperactive there. I like Josh Keaton. So I like Josh Keaton, so I like Richard Parker, so I want to know why the fuck he's in jail. What did bro do? What did my guy do? I don't know. I just really, really wanted to talk about my thoughts on the Spider-Man show. It's so different from everything else we've gotten. It's so fucking good that I just needed to express something. But hey, that's it from me. I'd love to keep the discussion going down in the comments. Tell me your ideas and thoughts about what might be going down in the second season. And if I should try writing a second season of my own. I didn't share any of my ideas because I'm saving that. If I do that, that's it. That's it. I'm done. Bye. Have fun.